Good evening. My name is Jake Modla, and I am one of the attorneys with the law offices of Jason Taylor. Tonight, I want to talk about the issue of workplace safety during the coronavirus pandemic. There are two aspects of this I'd like to discuss. The first is persons with disabilities who are continuing to work during the outbreak. These people have protection under a federal statute known as the Americans with Disabilities Act. For example, you might be an employee who has diabetes. You might work for a grocery store. Your doctor tells you that you should wear rubber gloves during the day because that will enhance your protection from catching the coronavirus. You go to your employer and you tell them that you need to wear rubber gloves during the workday. Your position in the store might be a checkout person. The employer's initial reaction is to say, "We don't want you to wear gloves at the checkout counter." Your doctor's recommended you wear those gloves. So you go back to your doctor and you bring a note to work that outlines from the doctor why you need to wear the gloves. At that point, the Americans with Disabilities Act would kick in and would say that the company needs to engage, your employer needs to engage what's known as the interactive process. They need to see whether or not they can accommodate your need to wear gloves in the workplace because of your diabetes, because of your disability. Now, in that example I'm giving about the workplace, it could be that others in the store are already wearing rubber gloves, like in the deli or in the meat department, or people who stock shelves in the evening. But in my hypothetical, the employer might use their own bias and say, well, we don't want you to wear gloves. It might make the customers nervous, and they might think you're already infected, and that could hurt sales, so no, you can't wear those gloves. They might disregard the note from your doctor. They can't do that. Under the Americans with Disabilities Act, they have to engage in an interactive process to determine if that accommodation of wearing rubber gloves is appropriate. We, the lawyers at the law offices of Jason Taylor, are available to discuss these situations if you have a disability and your doctor has recommended you take certain steps at work to maintain your own health and safety, and help discuss those issues with your employer, and in the appropriate situation, get your employer to comply. The other area of safety that I'd like to discuss tonight is for workers who work in high-risk locations, risk for infection. The United States Center for Disease Control has issued guidelines which are giving employers suggestions on how to keep their workplace safe. In addition, in North and South Carolina, we have a Department of Labor, and we also have a Federal Department of Labor, and each of those organizations has an office known as the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or OSHA. And under the General Duties Clause of the OSHA statutes, all employers have to maintain a safe work environment. So, for example, if you work in a long-term care facility or nursing home, things could be going on that you think make the workplace more susceptible to infection, or that the employer is not taking all the steps necessary to be safe. The Centers for Disease Control has issued guidance for long-term care facilities and nursing homes, and this guidance talks about how to manage ill residents, the supplies and resources that should be made available to employees, and education and training that should take place, not only for the persons who live in a nursing home, but also people who work there, as well as visitors. If you feel like your workplace is unsafe and you don't feel like you have anywhere to turn, you can always turn to the law offices of Jason Taylor. A phone call to us is free, and we can help figure out if there is something that can be done to help make your workplace a little more safe during the coronavirus pandemic. Thank you very much.